only have a few days left. Yeah. Oh, okay. 1 second. The whole chat is saying there's no audio, but I see y'all's audio. I just probably have to reset it. Talk again.
Hey, can you hear?
Talking.
I still have your levels.
Can you hear me now?
They can only hear Sam. Cool. Okay.
I mean, I saw y'all's levels. I don't know, but now they can hear you. I just had to reset your channel.
This was all part of my elaborate plan to go buy U2s, or you don't
Everyone
get
in
audio.
chat is saying they can only hear you, Sam, even after you said that.
No, they can. No, so people are saying.
No, there, they got it.
Are you sure? You sure, Sam?
Do y'all want to restart? You want to go back to the? Should I hit the intro for us, and then we can do it over?
So, welcome to the Samcast. Sam's gonna have to translate everything we say because our audio is going through.
I can hear. We're blaming.
Anyway,
no, I know it's fixed. Hey. I know it's fixed. All right. Hey, welcome to Death Metal Cast. I had a whole opening about how we're like streaming in the middle of a thunderstorm, so who the hell knows what's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm just gonna blame the audio issue on the storm.
On the storm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Somehow the this thunderstorm that's occurring in Austin right now just blocked off all our audio except for Sam. He's immune to thunderstorms, I guess. So, and yes, there was. I mean, if you're watching this, you saw Chad waving around the boomstick U2s. There's only currently 3 days left to grab one. If you haven't grabbed one yet, go check that out on the U2's website. There's also a link down below. I believe it's just like u2s.boomstick.com or whatever to.
And you can search for Boomstick, or you just scroll down until you see him.
Does not go to the same thing? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't.
I realize.
Yeah, but there's like a whole countdown on the website and everything. So
at the end of this U2's thing, we should have had an ultra rare super variant of broomstick where he just has a broomstick leg.
The amount of times
I know
my phone has autocorrected that.
See,
I know mine too. Yeah.
Well, if the boomstick goes U2's goes well and we do a whiz U2's, then we'll do a pairing where there is a chase variant of broomstick and jizz, and I don't know what we're gonna do with the jizz one, but we'll see.
If we do, if they gave us the opportunity to do a whiz one, what would your special thing be, Ben? Would you just like one out of 6 have a wizard hat on, or like what?
I mean, I would imagine it would be related to the metal arm because that would
golden
be like
arm,
the
right?
Gold arm it.
Yeah. Because if you get both of those chase variants, then you'd have the golden shotgun and the golden arm. But I don't know. We'll see if that actually happens. Hey, seeing some gifted memberships coming in through chat. Thank you, Vriel. Thank you to a bunch of you guys joining already. That's incredible. Appreciate members
for the super chats. Thank you.
Yes. So we are, now that the stream is actually working and you can hear the stupid assholes, we're gonna be talking about this incredible matchup that everybody's been debating about because it is clearly the most important thing that's going on in our current world right now. Who would win in a fight between 100 humans and 1 gorilla?
And some of us have very strong opinions. So we're like, we should do this on cast.
Yeah.
Why did this happen? I don't even know the origin of this.
I think it's just
so there's a Wikipedia page for this meme.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it actually. I'm not. It actually originated in 2020. I believe on TikTok. Let me look it up.
They're fucking 100 men versus a gorilla is a thought experiment concerning the winner of a hypothetical battle between 100 unarmed male humans. Wait, was this page made in 2020?
Oh wait, big come up. Male humans. We're heavier now. We're heavier.
Oh, it does specify male humans.
I did average humans, so I'm coming up now.
I assumed average male human, like for the sake of this battle.
Okay.
Oh well, there's also a wiki page for man or bear, so you know. But that's a whole different experiment, right?
Horrible stomp.
Well, that
depends on bear.
It's a little bit of a different thing.
Yeah, very much depends on bear. Me versus one koala, I'm positive I got it. You know,
a koala isn't a bear. It's just
okay,
called
bud,
a koala
sure.
bear, but
a
it's not a
koala
bear.
isn't a bear.
It's
Whatever,
a marsupial.
Bud.
It's a fucking it's like a possum.
To be
Yeah,
clear,
sure.
to
This
be
is gonna
clear,
be great.
the man or bear one is about who would a woman be more willing to run into in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's
yeah,
that's
that's
that thing.
totally different.
So it's a
Once
little bit of a
again,
different situation there.
Depends on the man
but-
and the bear. What if it's
I mean,
the bear from the
So-
TV show The Bear? That's both. Even worse, maybe.
True, Carmi.
Yeah.
As you can tell, these are the two morons who are going to be debating.
Ben, you're on one today.
We're in for a ride. That's for sure.
I
All
do
right,
think
yes.
I do
Liam is
think-
going to be debating for the gorilla. Sam is going to be
Yeah,
debating for the
gorilla.
100 male, specifically humans.
Can we like level the ground? Like, can we just like what gorilla?
Okay,
Silverback.
so that's part of the debate, which is it is just a gorilla. So if you want to make part of your argument, Sam, the question of what the gorilla is, I don't see why that can't be part of your argument.
Yeah, but then
But-
I could just do 100 children, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
No,
not
no.
fair.
That's why I'm asking you, Liam. Which gorilla?
Oh, the
Okay.
wiki page does say silverback gorilla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Do we want to
Silverback-
go by
Sil-
rules of the wiki page here?
Let me
the
clarify
Wikipedia
because I
article?
learned this. Silverback is not a species of gorilla. It is the leading male of its group. So
Yeah.
there are 4 subspecies of gorillas. I believe there's 4. There's the western lowland, the eastern lowland, the eastern like mountain and western mountain, something like that. Something like that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. I mean, they're very similar. I'm going to just talk about like a large male silverback gorilla, either western lowland or eastern or like mountain, either lowland or mountain gorilla, because there's not a huge difference.
As
Amy
the
from
chat is
Congo.
saying, composite gorilla versus composite male human, I guess.
Deposit 100 mil.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
so-
Well, let's do this.
The
Whatever this is
silverback.
going to turn into.
I get it. I on the
Yeah.
other hand, I could not imagine a worse room to be in than one with 100 alpha males. But we'll just say average.
Well, we have over 1,000 people in the chat right now. What about we just assume that you're pulling 1,000 people from chat? All right.
100. You're supposed to be 100.
100.
yeah,
I did
if
see,
100,000. We got this.
Yeah,
That's
earlier-
not a problem.
When we were loading in, Tree something had said like, "All right, guys, which one of us is going first or something
Yeah.
like that."
Yeah. So
Yeah, we
everybody
got
in
it.
chat,
Important
if you
question.
volunteer as tribute, let us know.
Important.
And then maybe we'll see if you could potentially change the outcome in favor of Sam's argument. All right, but let's get this started. The way this typically goes is our representatives argue for their sides, and then at the end of the show, everybody here votes for who would win. We are going to be doing that. I have no idea what's going to be happening from point A to point Z here, though. So this could go completely off the rails very quickly. Hey,
And then we will do a vote, and then they will decide once and for all, and the debate will be over on the internet. That's the purpose of today, right?
Solid.
yeah, this argument that apparently started in 2020.
It
Yeah,
ends here.
makes
It ends
sense.
here.
It ends today. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So get ready, everybody.
It took us
your
3
vote-
Goku versus Superman ones to bring people around, so maybe we can get this one in one. Let's try.
We can do it in one. We can do it in one. Everybody watching, get ready. Your vote is going to be the deciding factor for this argument forever and ever. That's clearly what
We'll never talk
we
about
are
it again.
positioned. Nobody will ever talk about this again.
This is
All right,
pretty
so-
much. We did Thor versus 100 Pikachu's DBX. This is pretty much that again, right?
Yeah.
Liam, give us the rundown. 60-second intro on the
Yeah, you
gorilla.
Got it. Here's your 60 seconds.
Sam, could you bring up Gorilla 2, please? Because I did a little mock-up of what this battle is going to look like.
Sure, bud.
The thing that you there it is. Here we go. The thing that you have to understand about this fight is that it is not merely a case of the gorilla being physically superior, so much so that it is going to rip through crowds of humans like wet paper. This is also a battle of logistics and psychology. So it goes beyond the simple who is stronger, who is tougher debates that we usually do. The gorilla not only has the strength advantage, it has the psychological edge on humans. Humans are not going to be wanting to fight after they see, Big Joe over there get his fucking balls ripped off. This is not a battle that humans can ultimately win. The gorilla is going to
Okay, pretty succinct. Now, for humans, I do want to make sure we clarify what the rules are for 100 humans, as in, I believe the intention here is that they have no weapons. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
But
Okay, real quick. 100 people. On average, 100 people. We don't got one guy with a cane or a wheelchair.
no weapons. No
Okay,
weapons
so now
whatsoever.
Liam's an ableist. Let's start the field day.
Okay.
Let's start the field
Well,
day.
let's get your
Bam.
argument then. 60 seconds on the clock.
60 seconds on the
100
clock.
humans.
I don't think we need to talk much about this. A silverback gorilla, peak. I'm talking peak. Google right here telling me 500 pounds is like a really large individual gorilla. 100 humans, average male, 17,500 pounds. Let's just talk about meat versus meat right now. That's a lot of fucking meat. And my boy's got, 17,000 pounds more mass than this fucking gorilla. He's 5,000 pounds? We just gotta throw like 20 bastards on top of him and he's gonna be squished.
How many could get to him at one time, though?
Well, that's why I think we need to establish what's the environment. Because also, if there's, we're humans. What are we good at? Running shit down and running away from shit until it's tired. A gorilla is going to get tired way fucking faster than humans are, especially 100 humans. And if we have any environment, if we're in the goddamn jungle, we're gonna hide, we're gonna sharpen sticks, and we're gonna ambush this bastard. Because also, out of 100 people, yeah, it pretty much is, and it's not gonna be that hard. Out of 100 people, there's gonna be at least one person to give a Braveheart quality speech that's gonna get all of us fucking yoked to kill this gorilla, right? So
Okay. So what you're saying is, so long as there is one strong leader, so long as there's one strong leader among the humans that can rally them together, they could overwhelm the gorilla.
Pretty much, yes.
That is assuming that there is one person in this is this a random assortment of 100 humans? This random assortment of 100 humans is capable of leading.
100. This is not 100 Dwayne the Rock Johnsons. This to put the image in your head. This is 100 Bens, Chads, Liams, and Sams.
Yeah, and I think if it's 100 of us, I think we got it. No problem.
So
we don't got it.
Says,
no, I think we
totally
got it.
is a weapon.
Okay,
so that's true.
Yeah.
They will have clothing, so I think we can assume some belts. Okay,
Belts,
right?
Like you have strong cloth rope. We can do trips for this gorilla. Like we can set up traps.
Also,
no problem.
The thing that really made us want to do this podcast, at least for me, was Sam brought up a very interesting point when he and Liam were talking about this.
Yeah,
And that is the bones
dead
argument.
people are weapons.
Okay, let's get to that in just a second. Let's get to that in just a second. I want to go back to the idea that somebody could rally this group to actually combat the terror of fighting a gorilla, because I feel like the biggest issue here, as we mentioned on our fireside chat last week, is the second, and how Liam just mentioned, the second one person gets their balls ripped off, the majority of the humans are going to go, nope, fuck that shit, and run away, right? Yeah. So how many people in this group of 100 are going to have the leadership ability to actually keep people rallied and focus on taking down this gorilla?
Maybe
now, this is just a quick Google search, but according to Electro IQ, 10% of people are natural leaders, while 20% have basic management skills. So 10 out of 100 people are natural leaders. So there are 10 people in this group who could potentially rally people up. Now, they may be natural leaders. That doesn't necessarily mean they're good leaders. So
they form squads.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would also like to think that 1 out of 100 people at least is very charismatic and's got this. And it really, we're humans. This depends on how the setup is. Do 100 of us wake up, and also I'm thinking about me, and I just love to manipulate crowds. So I would like if I woke up with 100 people in a jungle and there was a gorilla in a cage with a countdown timer, I would be like, "Hey gamers, Jeff Bezos's wizards have sent
I
us
love
here.
that.
If we kill this gorilla, we're all gonna be rich." And they're gonna be like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like, "You just been teleported to a jungle and you're asking these kind of questions." Of course,
Okay.
it's a tribe. Like, yeah, we're on
The
some Squid Game
psychology.
shit. Do you want to
I
win or
wanna talk
lose?
I want to talk about the psychology element to it because I'm hearing a lot of talk, and
Okay.
I have points.
I'm glad
to
you're
address
thinking
all of
about this.
Okay.
Okay, because this is a big part of the argument. Okay, so in Death Battle, the rule, we are following Death Battle rules here, right? This is a Death Battle cast. And the rule is that any sort of a compunction you might have about killing is removed. But that doesn't change anything else about your psychology. Scooby and Courage were still massive cowards in their battle. It just happened to cancel out, so it didn't matter for that fight. So I'm assuming both sides have some sort of motivation to fight and kill. But beyond that, neither is bloodlusted. And I think that's a really important thing that a lot of people have assumed that the humans are going in bloodlusted. And that is not the case. Neither is it true for the gorilla. Hey, a real gorilla, as scary as it is, a real gorilla sees a crowd of 100 humans running at it. It's gonna run away. It's gonna ook ook and do the really funny gorilla run and get out of there because it doesn't want to fuck with this shit. Animals in the wild can't afford injuries that we can heal from. That goes for the humans too. Eventually, in whatever inclusion that we're in, the gorilla, if the humans are chasing the gorilla or surrounding it, eventually it's going to be cornered and eventually it's going to fight back. And that matters because the gorilla is going to have a significantly easier time tearing through humans and intimidating them. When the gorilla is cornered, it's not suddenly going to be so intimidated that it refuses to fight back. Whereas if humans corner the gorilla, the humans will be so intimidated that they will flee. And I think that's an important thing that I want to talk about as we later is this idea of the multiple charges that are going to be happening, right? Because people are going to charge the gorilla is going to go ape shit and rip a dude's head off or whatever, or do whatever it wants. And then the humans are going to start to turn around and run away, and they're going to regroup and try to think about stuff. And then do another charge with some sort of other strategy. And this is going to keep repeating until either they're all dead or the gorilla dies. Let me talk about the gorilla's physical stats, because I don't want to. I would be remiss not to mention this stuff, right? We know that the gorilla is stronger.
Yeah, how strong and fast is a gorilla? Let's go.
Okay, so I've actually seen that
Building
gorillas
tier, mountain tier, planet tier gorilla.
Yeah.
So actually, it's a macroversal. No, it's
What a gorilla.
the gorilla. So gorillas can get as heavy as about 600 pounds. Their arm span, which is really important here, their reach, 8'6".
Good Lord.
What I thought was interesting about mountain gorillas specifically is that they live in mountains that are go about as high up as about 14,000 feet. So their actual, like, where the air is very, very thin, right? So their actual use of oxygen is much better than ours. Obviously, humans have the stamina advantage as a whole. There's 100 of them. It would be impossible not to. But an individual gorilla is not going to be winded as quickly as a human would be put in the same situation. I read an article by including quotes from Kat Hobater, who's a primatologist at St. Andrews, and they mentioned that so muscles are divided into two groups, like the slow twitch and fast twitch muscle fibers. Slow twitch is for like pressing or curling weights, and then fast twitch is for like throwing punches. Human beings are about 50-50. Gorillas are unique in the in the primate kingdom, is that they are 85% fast twitch. So just they throw really, really powerful hits. Their bones are about 2 to 4 times as thick and dense as ours. Their skin is physically too tough for humans to bite through, and that's really important because human bites are actually some of the most toxic in the animal kingdom. I don't think it would matter only in the long term, but they are extremely toxic. Not going to happen here. Their hands have a 1,300-pound grip, which is enough to crush a human skull. And even their slow twitch muscles, and only the 15% of their muscles that are slow twitch, are strong enough to lift, press, or pull about 2,000 to 4,000 pounds, which is enough to easily tear an arm or a leg off. Why is this all relevant? We know that gorillas are much, much stronger. This is relevant because the people that were fighting, that are fighting in this, this is sort of a thing that we don't think about in Death Battle, but like, these are not warriors. They don't have superhuman durability. If you as a human being get punched in the face, sometimes that's all it takes for you to be out of the fight. You fall back and you hit your head and you're done. Just realistically, right? A gorilla does not need to be exerting even like a fraction of its strength to hit you in the chest and shatter your rib cage and put you out. You might not be dead, but you are on the ground, unable to fight back, and just waiting for the gorilla to come finish you off. So the gorillas, what the gorilla has to do to get people out of the fight is just maim. They only have to maim. They can kill, but they really only need to be maiming. And the effort that it takes is not very much. And we can get into the swarming thing, but I feel like I've been talking. But yeah, that's really big aspect.
You were talking. It did give me the opportunity. I don't know why it struck me. I Googled it. I got Jane Goodall's email, and I've emailed Jane to see if she can do a follow-up for us.
She's chimpanzees, Sam.
Yes, but I still think that's close enough, Liam.
It's different.
That's so funny.
We'll see if Jane gets back to us.
Okay, yeah, Jane, if you're listening, please get back to us within the hour.
Yeah. There have been a bunch of super chats that I would love to
go for it.
about here. Dirt Rock, why is this a debate? A single child got a gorilla killed in 2016. Damn. Gilded,
Rip.
gifted out 10 membership. Thank you. The Phenomenal said, I would love to see the Death Battle cast. Hey, matchup suggestions. We got a forum for that. Thank you very much for the super chat, though. Get Jinx, you guy and anybody on chat go to fight a one gorilla? Yes. Virial says, I'll go first. I'll shove my arm into the gorilla's mouth to save all of you. There you go. Look at that. Virial always with the
That's
support.
not a good idea. That will only enrage the beast.
Well, I think he's
I think
I try to choke it from the inside.
Yeah, it could very well. If you got an arm down there, he's choking. Dude, he's choking.
Buddy, Gorilla 3, Sam, could you bring up Gorilla 3?
Oh, no. I'm not saying the person is also not losing an arm, and I will gladly bring up Gorilla 3.
There you go.
Like, that's my thing.
What that looks like.
If you're elbow deep on that gorilla, let me move him, and I can just do like a, if I'm going this deep on the gorilla, I think even if he does bite my arm off at the elbow, he's choking to death for sure.
How would you get your hand in before he like swatted it away or whatever? This is this.
Okay. I also want to
you don't
bring
think
up
they roar? And I don't.
we talked a little bit about like the swarm of humans, whatnot, right? I saw somebody in chat mention that like men stormed Normandy and didn't flee, so they'd be able to storm the gorilla.
Many of
that's
them
hilarious.
did. And here's the thing, and I don't want to. Because I thought about Normandy.
You did?
Yes,
specifically
I thought about Normandy.
Of course he did.
I thought about the beaches of Normandy. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Many of them did
Might be
freak
about to
the
say what
fuck
I'm
out and
Yeah.
lose their minds. They're soldiers. They're trained soldiers. Like they've been training for years for that moment, and they're like been psychologically primed for like all they had to do was get from point A to point B. Right? It's a much simpler task than defeating a gorilla. That sounds silly to say that Normandy was simpler than defeating a gorilla, but no, truly, like
From an individual person perspective, your
Yes.
goal was like get from point A to point B,
crystal clear.
make sure
It
your
had to
group,
be.
your squad essentially gets from point A to point B and do what needs to be done for that to happen. This is a little bit different in that it is wrestle down and kill a gorilla with your bare hands.
With your bare hands, yeah.
So Normandy and other, G-Day may not be 1-to-1 to G-Day. D-Day may not be 1-to-1 with G-Day. But I totally understand the idea that, like, again, going back to the idea that there are 10 people in this group who can rally people. Perhaps one of those 10 people is capable of rallying people in a way where they could charge as if they are soldiers trained and prepped for a storming of the beaches. Perhaps that could happen. I don't know how likely it would be. or how successful it would be. I also want to point out, you mentioned Jane Goodall, and that reminded me of stories of Jane has studied gorillas, and there's like a pretty infamous story of how her teams and other similar teams studying gorillas and chimpanzees discovered that gorillas and chimpanzees conduct actual warfare.
Yes, they have turf wars.
And yes, they have turf wars, and they will like create a a territorial sort of like boundary, and if you cross it, they're like, "Fuck you, you're mine," and they will beat the shit out of other like opposing apes, and sometimes not even kill them just to leave a message. It is insane. So gorillas and chimps, or gorillas in this case, I think it is important to recognize that, like, sure, it may be like an animal, a beast, but it's also one of the more intelligent beasts in the animal kingdom, and that it's not as simple as like, well, we're just gonna swarm it and it's gonna die because it's not gonna know what to do. It will figure out a strategy potentially. I think there's more to it in that case. So. Okay, there's clearly a lot more to talk about, which is fucking insane. So let's.
I have a lot more.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break and pause for a minute to talk about something that's maybe a little bit more, a little bit calmer, a little bit nicer, a little bit happier, and that is our sponsor for today, which is Aura Frames. Hey, you remember Aura? And also, do you know what's coming up this month? No, it's not the gorilla fight that you've got scheduled. That's going to be next month, probably. No, it's not GTA 6. That's next year. Sorry. It is almost time for Mother's Day. So what are you going to do? Well, the correct answer is to call your mom, of course. But you can also get her an Aura digital picture frame. These things are awesome. Look at this. Look, I have one right here. And it's us at MagFest.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. It's really easy to set these up. It's really easy to, basically the idea is that it's a digital picture frame. You take a picture with your phone, you send it to your Aura frame, boom, it's there. It's fantastic. It's really high quality. It looks really nice. Like, frankly, like just looking at this on the like on a shelf or whatever, you would never be able to tell that it's a screen. It's so clean. It's I didn't even realize just how like pretty and nice these things are until I actually got one in my hands. It's really cool. So Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter and featured in 495 gift guides last year. That's insane. That's almost 5 times as many humans as we have fighting a gorilla. So the next time you need to call your mom, you can also send her a new photo from the trip that you're on while you're telling it about to her right from your phone. So, Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off, plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver Mat frame. That's AURA frames.com, promo code DBC. And hey, you can also support us, the Death Battle Cast, by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you, Aura, for supporting us. And boy, I don't know if you expected us to be talking about this matchup on the episode you were sponsoring, but hey, here we go.
You could, anybody that has an Aura frame, if you can, if you're an approved user, you can add photos to it. You can just send gorilla photos if you want.
I should have put a gorilla on. Hang on,
yeah,
I'm gonna get a gorilla photo for it.
Real quick, because we've had so much support this cast. Let me try and get through a lot of these. Also, I'm gonna skip ahead real quick because Nikki dropped a massive super chat and then says, if this plays out anything like Area 51 raid, we're screwed. I forgot that existed. Do you remember that? Simpler times.
Yeah.
Now we're just worried about everything.
The Area 51
collapsing.
does prove, though, that a couple people can rally a large number of people.
That's true.
It's more than that. It's more than just rallying. But go on, Chad.
Elkacha says the gorilla when I give him a 3-piece combo, no chicken, no biscuit. All right. Crook Cajun.
No fucking brain.
I had a good workout. I got him chat. All right. Sorry, that was probably reference something a little bit back. Gilded, I will volunteer. You all stay. I will mid-diff the gorilla. Okay. So Viriel and Gilded there gonna save everyone. Dude Blade. I will take the place of 5 members of chat if it means Azula versus Cyclonus is next week's. Okay, way to trick me. Good job. You sacrificed yourself to make a suggestion.
Ban that
yeah.
chatter. No.
Pepper says, I think one Liam could take a gorilla in a fight. I don't, but I
Do you
appreciate
think
your
I saw
comment.
that one, Liam? Do you think you could take a gorilla in a fight?
Real Liam or Liam based on feats?
Is there a not real Liam?
Well, I mean, like when we've made jokes in cast and stuff like that, where I'm like, oh man, it'll be one
There we
feat.
go. Now I have a gorilla trapped in my photo.
That
frame.
does kind of look like AI, but I don't know.
No,
hard to
it's just
tell.
because
It's not?
so
I
to
hope
make
it's
it like legitimate, I just took
Yeah.
a picture of a gorilla on my screen, so it looks a little janky.
And
But that's how
easy
quickly
it is to send
yeah, exactly.
photos
That's
to
how
an
easy it is
orphan.
to get a photo on an Aura frame. Hey, it took me like less than a minute. You can also
Each
like
Liam
save
would
it to
win.
photos on OneNote.
Real Liam would
Anyway.
would not win. I would die. I would get fucking eaten.
Curry Boy says the gorilla can't beat the embodiment of the human spirit. Yeah, we'll get
True.
really anime.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah, that's don't
Just,
forget
like,
about the
just
power
stop.
of friendship, everybody. Now let's get this gorilla.
Flynn's saying we should incentivize the people with $1 million per person, so that'll really make them fight.
Yeah, I mean, my first thing
Yeah,
would be to
that'll
lie
cover
to the
medical
group.
costs.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because did we talk about this? Because Bullet Ant, that's super solid super chat, says, imagine a gorilla trying to stop a Black Friday sale. If you want to go primitive, can't you stampede him too? If
Yeah.
lions are that strong, why didn't Mufasa tell the wildebeest to stop? It's just a numbers game at
Yeah,
that point.
it is. That's literally the gorilla.
Yeah, peak human is Black
500
Friday human,
pounds.
right?
I'm
Like,
pretty
people-
sure if there were only a 100 wildebeest stampeding Mufasa could have taken him.
No, absolutely not. What are you talking about?
100? There were like 1,000 of them.
It's literally weight. It's just a thing of mass. This is can 500 pounds stop 17,500 pounds? No, it can't.
Here, okay, this is important because it's not
800. There were
17,000.
800 wildebeests that stampeded Mufasa.
Yeah, he would have been done.
this is a whole nother debate. We can't go here.
It's
If
not
it were
17
if it were 100 wildebeests, could Mufasa have survived? I think he probably would have.
Depends on the width
It's
of the
not
valley.
17,000 pounds. That's so important. It's not because
Right.
surface area. You can't surround a gorilla with more than like 6 to 8 people at a time. The gorilla, that's how you fight crowds, right? And I learned this from Baki, and also from just logic. You can't. The gorilla is never fighting 100 people at once. It's fighting 5 to maybe 10 at most at once. And the ones that like try to dogpile on the gorilla are unless you're getting like all of them at the same exact moment, like swan dive onto the gorilla at the same time. It's going to be one, he gets ripped off and dies. There's going to be another one, he gets ripped off and dies. And the other ones are... furthermore, even if you want to do like the like massive dogpile approach, that is people that are acknowledging that they are committing suicide, right? The people at the bottom are going to be tomato sauce, right? The people that are on the gorilla are acknowledging that they're fucking dead, which is a state of mind that I don't think that they could get in before the gorilla like kills them. I think even with a charismatic leader, that's the question that always keeps coming up. That came up a billion times on Twitter. It was the main joke about the matchup on Twitter. It's come up on this chat. Who's gonna go first? Right,
Well,
Mr. Leader, are you gonna go first? And then we
we've already
sacrifice
had
our
two
fucking
volunteers.
charisma guy.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that there is a certain mindset for some people that's going to allow them to just go for it. And also, have you met the average male? Because they're fucking stupid. They think, like, if you ask the average male, do you think you could land this plane? They say yes. Dude,
They think
have
that until they have to do it.
They have so much unwarranted confidence. And also, I'm going to say, just about just shy of 7% of, and sure, this is US Census, 7% of people are either in the active military or veterans of. So I got at least 7 military gamers here, right? I think
They would know better not to fight the gorilla if you're in the military. You'd be like, I know my
no,
limitations.
but
I can-
you're saying this like we're saying this is a death battle. They know they have to kill
They
this
have
gorilla.
to. They have
There's
to.
no
Yeah,
fight
they
or
have to.
flight.
Yeah.
They know the flight option is removed.
It's not a matter. They know that they have to kill the. Let's say they know they have to kill the gorilla to escape the whatever
Yes.
containment they're in.
Yes.
They know that the flight instinct part of their brain is going to be too strong. It won't be too strong if you're at the front lines, because then you're like, I need to fight back or I'm going to die. But it's going to be too strong for the people in the back who aren't actually directly in harm's way. They're just like, I know if I continue, I'm in harm's way. So they're gonna run back.
Once again, I think if we're in any real world environment, 100 people approaching a gorilla, the gorilla's gonna run away. The people are gonna have time to craft weapons, and the people will attack and kill the gorilla.
No weapons. No weapons. That's the whole. That's the whole point.
I still think 100 people that are decently, as long as there's a couple smart people, which there will be, it's 100 people, you can tire the gorilla out, scaring it and running it around before you actually have to fight it. And sure, I genuinely believe we could wrap this gorilla up sub 20 casualties.
So if we are using the same,
come on,
it's funny that you use that number. If we are using the same metric as we determined how many people are charismatic or potentially leadership potential, according to Google, about 20% of the world of people in the world are stupid, whatever that may mean. So we have 10 potential leaders and we have 20 potential stupid people who will just run at the gorilla. No problem.
Those could be an asset. Exactly.
I do agree. There's a fantastic old George Carlin bit where it's how, just imagine how stupid the average person is, and then remember 50% of people are dumber than that. And I really think that is true. We got some dumb motherfuckers in 100, and so we're just gonna send them in, dude. These people think they can land planes. They think they can beat fucking gorillas and bears. Like,
I'm assuming by stupid in this context, we're talking about people who have no survival instinct, right? They will just, somebody tells them, you can 20%. Do it, you can kill this gorilla, and they go, fuck yeah, I got this, and they just run headlong at this thing without any thought of their own. So like,
there's another aspect to the gorilla. There's another thing that it has, another asset. It has, even if it is scared. I mean, this technique is only used when a gorilla is scared. When an animal is scared, it has some of the most incredible intimidation in the animal kingdom, and we'll get to why intimidation would work on a human supposedly so fucking smart. So what they have is these air sacs in their chest, right? The gorilla like pounding the chest.
Yeah.
That's because their chest fills with air sacs and it makes this very loud, hollow sound. And they have the no fucking it's different than their lungs. It's
like extra lungs in their chest.
It's
like
peck lungs.
They have boob lungs. They have
sick.
inflatable boobs.
Sick.
And they go ook ook ook, and it scares the fuck out of people. The reason why, and you mean like, oh, I wouldn't be scared by that. Okay, why do people think that they would lose to a goose in a fight? Why are people scared of geese? Why is that a thing? Because a goose's whole thing, its whole arsenal is intimidation. It's loud. It flashes. What the fuck would a goose ever do to you? It would nip you. It doesn't have fucking teeth. It doesn't even have teeth. All it would do is it would pinch you with its mouth.
I think
just
a lot of that
on it. It's dead.
I think a lot of that is that people don't want to kill or attack a goose. They would rather flee, and fleeing's out of the scenario.
Yeah, like I'm at the park with my children, and here come the geese. Let's get away from it, because it's not like I'm like in front of my kids gonna grab it by its neck.
But Liam specifically, Liam's not talking about that. Liam's not talking about that. Liam's talking about like the intimidation factor. Even if the intent is that like, no, we're not gonna run, it's still gonna change. If we're giving the 100 people 10 people who could potentially be leaders, then I think the intimidation factor also needs to come into play, right? Well, the gorilla has an opportunity to counter the charisma of these leaders, the potential charisma of these leaders.
And the first it's got
boob balloons to do that. So
and it's gonna be ripping faces. So like, it's a lot.
I also think 6 people dogpiling a gorilla, like I do think, especially because I'm gonna tell the gang, I'm gonna get gang, we got this gorilla. Like, sure, I know some people are gonna get hurt, but we got the gorilla. Just
are you gonna get hurt?
Get ready. I'm ready to be
real
hurt,
quick,
Liam, but also I'm more of a leader in this scenario.
We got a super chat. We got a super chat from Vlad Tep, he's got you guys' back. He's got the 100 humans back. Because according to Vlad Tep, we don't need 100 men. Just send in my buddy Eric. All right, Eric, you're up.
Okay,
Eric's
so-
that guy in the friends group that you can convince to do anything, right? Like that's like. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Is
tell.
Eric one of the 20% that's stupid, or the 10% who's a leader? Like, which one is Eric?
I'm gonna find my other squad leaders, and I'm gonna be like, yo, gang. Some people are gonna freeze completely. We know this. They're gonna freeze. Leave them. That is perfect. We need some freezers to act as bait. Once he's mid just rip and tear on fucking Jane or Jeff over there, on the back, straight in the eyes. Straight in the eyes. Get the eyes, dude. Like,
sure.
I think, yeah, we're gonna take casualties. I'm not saying we're not gonna take heavy casualties. I think after he's torn 6-7 people asunder, he's lost both eyes. I think we're gonna get in there and get the eyes out.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, even if he loses his eyes, he can still fight. But all right.
Yeah, but you're telling no. And also, here's the thing. Once we get the eyes out and there's some significant bleeding happening, we're just what? You think we can't avoid a blind gorilla in the jungle? What are you talking about? I got it. We're fine. Don't worry.
Okay. Now, it might be difficult to get 100 people to fight a gorilla, but Chad, I think we can get 100 people to join us at an upcoming event, right?
What a good segue, Ben. That was awesome. That's right. Because, hey, y'all, this podcast is brought to you by Comic Palooza, because we're going to be there. And because they went above and beyond, and they're not just bringing us out, they also wanted to sponsor the episode because that's how awesome they are. So let me tell you a little bit about what Comic Palooza is and what's going on. Comic Palooza is the largest pop culture festival in Texas. It's going to be in Houston this June 20th through 22nd at the George R. Brown Convention Center. There'll be hundreds of panels covering everything from anime to comics to podcasts to literature to gaming to us. There's a car show. We're joining a bunch of other special guests, including Adam Savage, Patton Oswalt, Hayden Christensen. Yes, Hayden, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil Christensen. Tori Wilson, Alan Tudyk, and the voice of Goku himself, Sean Schemmel. There'll be a huge exhibit hall with merchants from all over the nation, tons of awesome attractions and events like a rave, a Japanese arcade, a cosplay contest, magic shows, a haunted house, a full steel combat. What's full steel combat? Well, you ever want to see a pair of knights in full plate armor go at each other with actual medieval weapons? Yep, that's full steel combat. It's awesome and would probably really turn the tide in this gorilla fight. We'll be there all weekend from Friday through Sunday. We'll be doing a few panels, signing autographs, and even premiering a very special episode for the first time ever. Can't reveal which one it is yet, but let's just say it's one you've been waiting to see. So click the link below to check out Comic Palooza, pick up your passes now, and come hang out with us June 20th through 22nd. We hope to see you at Comic Palooza. They are awesome. I can't believe we have never been out there before. I'm so excited. It's just it's like what, a month and a half away, something like that. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Definitely check out Comic Palooza if you've never heard of it. We're gonna be there. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I do think, because Chad mentioned knights, one gorilla versus 10 knights is more interesting. Just
they're bringing fucking swords and stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
real
swords,
quick. Pepper left a super chat that I think is very important here. I'm an Eric believer. I'm pretty sure he bench presses semi trucks.
yeah, true.
So you know,
Here's the problem.
bring in
Here's the problem
Eric.
with Eric. Here's the problem with Eric, with the buddy that you're like very confident in can do it, right? You're putting your faith in Eric, and if Eric actually goes in, Eric's getting fucking destroyed, and that's actually going to be a net negative. You have to stop. The best thing for the humans to do is to stop thinking of themselves as like beings of value, and to stop thinking of other people. They're just faces, right? They're just meaningless faces. The best thing you can do is to get yourself into a psychopathic trance, and just go for it, right? And be okay, be very zen and enlightened about getting your throat like opened up by the gorilla if you have to. But no one's gonna be like that, because people have.
So you're saying if your buddy Eric is in the group and he gets killed, it's just gonna like kill the morale for the entire group.
Eric is gone. Do you see Eric and Shao Kahn? We're fucked. Oh my god, they got Eric.
Or it enrages.
Yeah, no, there's some
You know what I mean?
enraging. Also, opening speech, everyone who dies here gets a statue. Your life won't be for nothing.
Yeah,
How's that
You're
character?
gonna be a legend.
I'll make sure your family knows of what went down today. The
Man
bravery
versus the
you
great man versus
showed.
guerrilla war.
See,
Yeah.
okay, if I were just grouped with 99 other random people and some dude stood up and was like, I will make sure that you will be remembered. I will make sure you get a statue. My first response would be like, wait a minute, you're not fighting? You're going to let us go?
Exactly.
You're going first, buddy. Like,
It's
I'd
the
push
leader
that dude in
paradox.
front. Like,
Yeah,
No,
it's the
unless
leader
he can
Eric,
paradox.
go
convince
first.
me, that he is a like legitimate leader who has a strategy and can also like direct the combat in the field, then why does he get to stay in the back? Like,
And also,
he
like,
goes
I can
first.
justify a million different fucking strategies. Oh, does the strategy guy get to not die? I have a strategy. I have a strategy. You know,
No,
like
I mean,
Then we get into analysis paralysis of like 70 of the 100 people being like, I have a strategy, let's go. 10% are
Yeah.
actual leaders who are like, this is fucking stupid. Then 20% are already fighting the gorilla because
I
they're stupid.
did Google it. I mean, once again, Google. 2% of Americans are at least fairly involved with martial arts. So I'm saying I got some guys.
So
I got some
2 of
gamers
them
here,
would be
too.
martial artists.
2 of them
Yeah,
know what's
there you
going
go.
down, and so I got
Right.
my karate
It's gonna be
gorilla
very hard.
choppers out here. So
To harm the gorilla,
wait.
though.
no,
What
I do
kind of
think
martial art, though?
exactly. Jesus.
martial arts?
Because martial arts, most martial arts aren't actually about like just
I'm gonna
fucking
Tai
killing
Chi
people.
this gorilla.
No, but that's the thing. I think if I got like, I think it's real reasonable that I have 2 to 4 overly confident MMA frat boys. And that's my fodder.
Amped up on Monster.
Oh,
Wait.
dude, they got so much
Wait.
monster pumping through their veins. They are ready to go. Okay.
Doug in
and
chat, Doug with a super chat. Eric is going to join the fight like Thor coming in clutch in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, guess what? They still
Thor
fucking
loses.
lost.
Yeah.
Like, spoilers for Infinity War. They still got their ass
Hey,
kicked. Like,
But if the gorilla doesn't have an infinity gauntlet, though, like the only reason they get their ass kicked is because if it was just Thanos, he would have beat the shit out of them. We know that.
Let me catch up on some super chats because I've been logging up. Kindrex, not an exact 1-to-1, but didn't ancient humans used to hunt mammoths? Yeah, but that was tools and stuff.
Yeah,
Spears,
if
yeah.
we had spears,
Yeah.
this
And
isn't
strat-
even
like,
a
yeah,
fucking
Spears,
question.
Spears, it's over. It's over.
if it were 100 people versus a mammoth just randomly, I don't think they would have survived.
No,
They'd also
yeah,
just
it's
run
not-
the gorilla down. Like, I mean,
Yeah. El Cato really wants to fight this gorilla. El Cato's made like multiple.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Things
We're gonna
flexing on this
have
gorilla. So.
we're gonna have plenty of El Catos, and
The
I'm sorry,
dumb-
El
the dumb,
Cato, you're almost
strong-
certainly dead, but I will build your statue.
You know what? Okay, I
Worth.
have a thing for that. All right, later. I'll get to it in a bit. Keep going, Chad.
Gilded said, "What if someone's a Tibetan monk? Batman used a technique he learned from them
True.
to block Gorilla Grodd's mind control."
True. Tibetan monks,
Big.
but those are DC Tibetan monks. DC Tibet is fucked. It's insane.
Yeah,
It's
that's a different thing entirely.
I don't know how China continues to hold them down. Like this is
They do have.
And they
some
got these
real
super
secret
weapons in the
sauce.
mountains.
they're
Yeah.
fucking like wizards.
Yeah.
Little Zebot says, if we're gonna use peak gorilla stats, we use peak humans too. If we do 100 rando humans, then we do 1 malnourished zoo gorilla. Good lord. Please.
Yeah.
Sure.
Zoo gorillas
oh.
aren't malnourished.
Oh, this was
Yeah.
great.
Actually, overnourished, if anything. They're fat asses.
Demetrio with a super chat says, "This is your dumbest debate ever. What's next? A leprechaun versus 1,000 fairies? Fuck yeah! You think I won't debate that?
Oh,
I like-
fairies.
Thanks for the
Once you bring
TO."
magic into it, we're
Yeah.
you're-
I am the
The
table.
leprechaun's fucct. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
done.
I
Well,
am
it
the-
depends on the type of fairies, right? Because is it like, and if it,
Fairies can fly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
by their name.
Like-
Anyway, all right.
Tinkerbell?
We're getting
Also
the
I
labyrinth
wanna-
fairies, they get taken out by just a little puff of the little,
Yeah.
fairy poison or whatever.
I am
I
the
mean, and
table
then-
says, what if the ape starts using ape jutsu? So that's not a thing. But if the ape did,
But what if it could
I
be,
do
Sam?
think, I do think more than what his boob lungs or whatever. If the ape, if like it was game on, because I feel like I'm unshakable in the face of me leading 100 people into a gorilla. But if then instead of doing a normal gorilla thing, he just did like a Neo Matrix thing, I would say we were fucked at that point. I would drop the ball and I'd be like, dude, if that gorilla just struck a kung
Got
fu
moves.
pose, we're done.
Yeah.
Like, A kung fu master gorilla
Yeah, no.
does get 100 people, but that's a different debate.
I bet you. I wonder if you could train a chimp to do martial arts. I'm sure you could. I'm sure somebody
I'm
has.
positive.
No, their arms don't work the same way. It
Yeah.
wouldn't-
Mal also wants us to know that moderators have our back in the fight. So
Thank you.
Yar, does
can
the
be the first
gorilla
into the
respect
slaughter.
rock paper scissors? What for? Like who goes first? I don't think it'll be doing that. I think it'll be a big old rush from the humans.
Oh,
like you
if
said.
it's one at a time, the gorilla wins, automatically wins. The only thing they have is numbers. One at a time. No.
I
Yeah.
do agree with that. I think there might be a world where after killing like 97 people, the gorilla is just exhausted.
But remember,
But
and I
I
talked about this at the
agree.
beginning,
Like one at a time, it's not really a thing, right?
it's not killing. It's just maiming. All you need to do for the initial assault is maim, and then you just clean up afterwards. The gorilla doesn't need to. If the gorilla's being swarmed, it's not going to be spending its time to like individually exert the effort to kill every single human. It just needs to throw its fucking arm, and then one's down because
Yeah.
their arms, remember, 2,000 to 4,000
No, I-
pounds.
I
So all it's
agree.
doing is this
A
through a crowd
single
of people.
a single punch in the face from a gorilla, you're not getting back up. You're done.
No,
So
I'm done.
yeah, one at a time isn't a question. This is 100 people versus a gorilla. They're
Yeah.
going at it. We're not doing
Okay.
this old school Bruce Lee movie style.
Yeah. The OK pot says I'm 5'6". I can probably Ant-Man the gorilla. Just-
No,
uh,
actually, that gorilla is about 5'6" as well. They're not gigantic. I mean, they're
I-
very heavy. They're dense. But...
I did forget about the enemy weak spot of the butthole as well. Thank you for bringing that back up. I will
Oh.
infer like I
You're
will
gonna peg
inform
the
the
gorilla
troops.
again.
Well, the
Oh,
troops
no.
need to
That will
know.
only enrage the beast.
on my diagram here of where the gorilla is weak, it's like eyes, butthole.
Points at E2
right?
button.
Yeah, it's
Cool. Great. I'm not even okay.
so glad this went here.
Okay, are you not?
Are-
You,
Can we wrap up the super chats here?
Liam started
Yeah,
this
sure.
with saying the
I'm almost
gorilla is
done.
gonna rip somebody's
No
balls
more
off.
gorilla butthole talk. Let's move on.
If the gorilla is ripping our balls off, we're going for the gorilla's balls too. Okay.
You don't
Oh,
wanna do
sure. That's
you
fine.
don't want to do that.
You're gonna piss
You
him off
think-
real
you
bad.
think I
do
can't
that,
kick a
dude.
gorilla in the nuts?
Hello.
No, but is it really? Is it a hit to the testicles of a gorilla not gonna like affect him and slow him down? I think it would still slow him down.
I don't know. I mean, it might slow them down.
Did Jane
They're-
Goodall get back to you, Sam? Maybe she can answer
Their genitals
that.
are actually
Jane
smaller.
Goodall said, "Don't forget about the testicles."
Let's get an actual scientist to answer that. If you kick a gorilla in the nuts, does it actually does he get
like,
incapacitated?
oh, like, you know.
No, Jane or her team has not followed up. I'm afraid.
Oh
This
damn
is
it!
a real
Okay.
debate. What happens when you sack check a gorilla? Like,
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
are there
I
videos?
mean, if
of
a
it,
gorilla
like,
is swarmed by 10 people, one of them will get a shot at the nuts. Sure.
Could
The
you-
question is, what effect does that actually have?
could you imagine being in the zoo and this gorilla's just like playing with its like tire swing and it comes back and it's like wham and then like it's just like oh
I've
Look,
seen
we
shit
may
like
not
that
we,
before. I've
we
seen
may not
monkeys do that.
have
It's
we
really
may not
funny.
have a scientist who in here who can actually answer this, but you know what? I'm going to refer to the next best thing, ChatGPT. What happens
oh god no
if I kick a gorilla in the nuts? Let's see what it says.
Specifically not
Uh,
Google. although it's 60%
Immediate
at this
reaction,
point.
pain and rage. That's the first thing. What the fuck? Okay, hang on. So the first, it gives me a numbered list. First, immediate reaction is pain and rage. Gorillas, like all mammals, have nerves and would feel the pain. But unlike humans, gorillas aren't conditioned to anticipate that kind of attack. So the response would be instinctive and explosive. Second step, you get mauled. That is literally what it says. So,
I've been suggesting that we don't do this. Hey, just
You
FYI, you're done.
you summary. Kicking a gorilla in the nuts is painful for the gorilla, briefly. Lethal for you, very quickly. This is literally what it says.
that's very funny.
I'm genuinely surprised there's, on a quick glance, 0 videos of a gorilla getting hit on the nuts on YouTube. That's crazy.
There has to be. I feel like I've
I'm
seen monkeys
looking
hit
through
the nuts.
it
It's
right
so
now.
funny.
Untapped
Incredible.
market.
I actually think a really important factor into this is that
Literally untapped.
gorilla testicles and penises are smaller than humans.
Yeah.
I know, surprise, surprise. We have the biggest genitalia in the primate kingdom. So it would be
That's
a
how we'll
smaller
intimidate
target.
him.
That's how we intimidate,
Yeah.
right? Wow.
That's how it's good. Everybody just drops their pants.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, once he sees 100 dogs that are bigger than his, he's gonna be so
Very
embarrassed.
emasculated. But then again, it could just make him angry. It could make him more
Oh,
prone
dude,
to
that-
stupid violence.
oh yeah, he's ripping dicks, dude. I mean, like,
Monkeys go for genitalia.
Yeah.
They go for, I don't know about ChatGPT saying they're not meant to anticipate that. They go for nuts. They go to rip out genitalia because they know it hurts.
Because they know it hurts, exactly. I'm saying,
They know
You
it
know
hurts.
what? This is
We
the
just need-
natural conclusion to this debate, I feel like. Who's got the biggest dick and who's gonna get their dick
No.
pulled off? Yep, that makes sense.
I'm
That
gonna-
makes
The
sense.
target.
I'm gonna do.
Ugh.
I'm gonna find my kung fu gamers. I'm gonna say, hey, wait until somebody freezes. Jeff, we can tell he's a freezer. The gorilla's gonna get Jeff. You're gonna do a slide kick right to the testicles. I'm gonna jump on the back straight in the eyes. And I think the gorilla's pretty fucked after that.
Okay.
I genuinely think
I also
we got this.
I want to point something out that I kind of left hanging there, like a many a ripped off dick. You said that like the combined mass of 100 humans is 17,000 pounds. The gorilla can bench press 4,000 pounds. So that's a quarter of the entire human mass, which is a quarter of those humans are not going to be.
Okay.
hopefully him
So
killed
the
his mic.
dog pile's not going to fucking matter.
You've killed your own microphone. But I do think I
Did
get
you
your
get the
point.
math out?
No, not really.
No.
But I do think
4,000. They can bench press 4,000 pounds, which is a quarter of your entire human force, right?
I don't think they can.
And you can't dogpile them with a quarter with 25% of the humans all at once. Physically, it is not possible without
I don't
humans
think-
being willing to like be dead and not being killed first or being removed from.
I don't think they can really bench press 4,000 pounds.
Yes, they can.
What?
I fucking the primatologists fucking said this. You know what primatologist is?
You're telling me
Primatologist.
Wait,
a
hang
gorilla
on,
can
Sam.
just
Your
get under,
response
like,
is
a
just
Honda
St.
Civic
Andrews.
and just be like, like
this
Yes!
fact does
No.
not exist. You just deny this fact from existence.
I
and that's
I
your
don't
argument.
think that's true.
I mean,
It just
Okay.
doesn't pass the gut check.
Okay. All right. We're at
Yeah,
the
I
end
just need
here.
some- Okay.
I think it's time for you guys to give your final arguments, and then we will get the vote going in the chat, and you all watching this live right now will determine once and for all who wins this. We will edit the 100 Men versus a Gorilla wiki article to specifically have this if we have to. Like, this is going to decide this once and for all.
Oh
This
my-
5-year-long debate, apparently. All right, Sam,
Yeah.
give the final argument for 100 humans.
we're going to lose a lot, but we have the numbers, and it has squishy eyes that can be ruptured easily. Yeah, and also, let's not forget, we can throw dirt
Eric.
in its face. Oh, and Eric, he can bench press semi, which is way better than a gorilla. But yeah, I don't know.
And Liam, final argument for the one gorilla.
It is too strong for even a crowd of humans to deal with. It is too tough to be meaningfully hurt. Its intimidation factor counters the human charge. The humans the fact that the humans want to strategize, they'll charge and then they'll run away when they see people injured. That just actually helps the gorilla maintain its stamina. The biggest issue it has is its stamina. The worst thing that could happen is if just 100 human beings completely have ego death and just charge all. But that's not a realistic scenario for technology. It is going to be a series of charges and feints and retreats until they try to whittle the gorilla down. But that time is going to give the gorilla, is going to mitigate the stamina factor for the gorilla. And eventually, it doesn't need to kill all of them. It just needs to maim the people to take him out of the fight. It's just a matter of time.
Same argument. We just need to maim the gorilla. By the time it's
Yeah,
one
we
versus
already had our
80,
final arguments. The poll is going
Yeah.
live right now. All right,
and
Chad,
also-
what are you thinking?
Well, I had to throw this out because we barely touched on it. It was the biggest thing that convinced. It was the biggest thing that made me even consider the side of the humans, and that was the bones argument. That like as
Yeah.
men fall, we can fashion their bones into sharp
No
things to
weapons.
stab. No, but yeah, you go in no weapons. But if you're fighting
No
100
weapons.
These
people,
are weapons,
yeah,
Liam.
you got to be able to
These
kill
are
for the
weapons. You tell
corpses
me I
of
can't
the
use my
fallen.
hands?
No weapons. The whole point is that there's no weapons. If you give them bone swords, yes, the humans win. It's no weapons. It's a
Well,
match.
right, it starts no weapons. And then,
Dead people are
It
weapons.
is no weapon.
The
You can't pick
second-
up a rock from the ground.
I do think bringing
But-
the bones in as weapons is changing the debate.
Just a meat club. If he rips somebody's leg off from the joint, from the thigh, I can't pick it up by the ankle and club this
I
gorilla,
also
dude.
I
Like,
You're done.
I don't really
If
see
you
what
grab the leg.
It's not like when the gorilla kills a person, they just suddenly fall apart and their bones are just scattered around.
yeah, you got to
Like,
work for it. Yeah, like you
He's
got to
maiming somebody. He breaks someone's neck and they fall. How are you getting bones from that guy? Like, what exactly are you doing to get
Liam was
bone
talking
weapons
about a
from
lot
the
of
people who are falling
ripped
down?
off limbs earlier. I'm just saying, if he can tear a limb asunder, we can get that limb and beat him
Yeah.
with it.
And Pepper in the
No
chat
weapons.
says if we had toddlers, that would be a huge 50 adults, 50 toddlers. That's a free weapon for each adult. Just
Nice,
saying.
guys.
Okay.
Nice.
This is
Awesome.
terrible.
Wow,
So,
this is
super
how
sick.
far you have to go for the human argument. All right,
Swinging
all right.
toddlers as clubs against
Yeah.
the gorilla will not hurt the gorilla. It will
As soon as you started
weird the
talking
gorilla
about
out.
swinging children as weapons, the vote was pretty heavily in favor of 100 men, and it started going down.
Yeah, no, I do think.
The bone thing I don't think actually really matters, mainly because how the fuck are you going to get the bones out of people? Like even if it's
not going to be
an
pretty
arm
bad.
is ripped out, and it's on the ground. Sure, you can pick up the arm and use it as a club, but like
Yeah.
how different is that really from you just swinging your fist? So you'll get a little bit more leverage, I guess, because it's technically a longer limb, I suppose. But like, I don't think it's going to add that much to the fight. And
I mean, yeah, the
the way
gorilla's
an
gonna
arc
rip
works-
somebody's like chest open, right? And then you get the ribs. You can break off a rib, and they're pretty pokey.
No weapons. No weapons.
I
Let's just
think.
say.
The whole point is that it's no weepons, right? Because if you
I-
give humans weapons, that's why we're the ones on
I
Death Battle
know.
Cast, it's not Banana Cast. Give us
All right.
tools, it's over for the gorilla. It's fucked.
I
The
don't- we
poll
don't
has
need
been up for a
tools.
couple minutes. Everybody get your votes in. We are currently, the winner is currently at 69%. Nice. Let's see if that
Nice.
maintains.
Perfect. Perfect.
And then there were some bigger super chats that I could get to real
Yeah,
quick.
go for it.
Some artist named Bruce said, if 8 fully clad knights weren't able to take down a single rabbit without resorting to divine intervention, a gorilla has this.
This is
Fun
not a
Monty
normal
Python
rabbit.
reference.
This is not a normal.
Yeah, that was not a normal rabbit, that's for sure. Let's see. Some artist named Bruce again said, what if the gorilla is going on the offensive? Maybe one person killed its pet kitten and it wants revenge. So,
All ball.
yeah. And
They
then,
lied about Coco, by the way. Coco does not understand English. Sorry. I know that's tragic. It's all bullshit.
And then Key with a big super chat says, do y'all remember the movie Congo? The execution skull crush? Yeah, see? I mentioned Congo earlier. Amy, sad. You know what it was?
Mm.
And then it looks like Riley Dealworth was in that MagFest photo that you showed off earlier. So that was cool.
Oh,
not- yeah.
well, I would bring it up, but I still have
Gorilla.
monkey trapped
Gorilla.
in the aura frame.
Yeah.
Monkey.
I know there were more super chats. Y'all the support today was absolutely ludicrously insane. So thank you guys. I read them all. I was able to get as many
Yeah,
as I
we
could,
see 'em
but
all.
we still had to talk about the
All
show.
right.
So thank you guys.
Let's get the vote is kind of stabilizing. It hasn't moved much, and most of over half the chat has voted. So I'm gonna end the poll in 3, 2, 1.
All
The
right.
winner with 69% of the votes
Nice.
is 100 men.
Yeah. I want to
It's solved.
ask the 31%
I don't-
of people.
I
that
don't
didn't
buy
vote
it.
for
I don't buy it.
yourselves.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
No,
Really?
I don't.
no,
I don't think
Ben,
this can
we're
happen.
supposed to
No, I
solve
don't
it.
think.
We
I don't
solved
buy
it.
it. I really don't buy it. Here's
out on the
okay.
internet.
This is what I wanted to say.
It's solved.
If we can get 100, you know what's going to convince me? If 100 of you can come to Comic Palooza and to specifically tell me that you would fight a gorilla, that'll prove to me that 100
You'd be
people are
willing to
willing to
die.
do this.
You'd be willing to die to the gorilla.
Do not bring a gorilla.
Don't bring a gorilla. But
Cover
like,
our
if
ass.
Bring a
100 people at Comic Palooza come up to me and say, yes, I'll fight the gorilla, Like that'll convince me because that's like people
We'll-
actually coming to an event.
We'll do
You're
it at
not
our
actually
panel.
gonna fight a gorilla. But
We'll
like
do
if
our panel,
100
like,
people come to
stand.
an event.
Stand
yeah,
and do a
exactly.
little
Yeah,
fight.
exactly. No. Specifically a call to action, a call to come to me and tell me that they would fight a gorilla.
Yeah.
I will keep a tally throughout Comic Palooza of everybody who comes to me and tells me that they will fight a gorilla. And if I get 100 at the end of the event, then I will believe it. But if not, I don't believe it. I really don't think so. I just don't buy it.
This is great.
Yeah.
Buy it.
I just think 100 people
You
got
know-
the gorilla.
The main thing that all the primatologists said was that they were all like very sad when they answered the question. They were like, a gorilla would never do that. A gorilla would never want to. They're gentle. They're basically big fat hippies. Really, they only fight in defense of their family. They just sit around and eat shit and fucking hang out and fucking bugs that eat people. Their gorillas are nice. They're not killers, but they will if pushed. to
But they
Well, they're not
They will,
killers
but they
because
will.
they can effortlessly be killers.
Yeah.
So they don't
Yeah.
need to be killers.
Yeah, when you're the apex predator, you're not worried about a lot of things, you know.
I just want to
It's like
hug a
it's like how
gorilla
the bigger
so
the dog
badly.
is, the friendlier it is. You get the small
Yeah.
dog, and it is a fucking asshole because it's terrified of
fruit.
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I love that Austin was like, "Do you guys think you could fill a whole episode with this?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, we're
Yes.
10 minutes over."
Yes.
Like
we could fill another one. We could do
can fill a
another
whole
episode.
Keep going.
We're gonna keep going in Champion Cast clearly. So if
Yeah.
for those of you who aren't aware, we do Champion Cast after this. It's
For our
it's not
members.
live, or at least not yet. We're thinking of potentially making it live later. But later on today, we will air a members exclusive like post show where we typically talk about what happens like kind of the follow up, I guess, of the Death Battle Cast and other things. I'm sure this will continue into Champion Cast. All right. What a fucking
What a time.
yeah, thing. All right.
100 people.
okay.
We got this.
This is great.
100
One
men
gorilla.
do technically win the vote. I just don't buy it. Yeah,
No, we're
Apom,
supposed to solve
gorilla versus 100 humans too. I don't know. We might need it. Ashton, that's like 100 chihuahuas versus one wolf. You know, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
fucking
actually know.
Chihuahuas are mean as shit.
The Chihuahuas, I think, could handle it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
like,
think it's swarm
Yeah.
the thing.
Really?
Yeah.
They also have like
Yeah.
Oh god,
they
here
got
we
some
are.
sharp needle
Because
teeth.
they
It's
can-
like
they
a
can-
lot.
they
Yeah,
can
the sharp
cheat, they
needle
can bite.
teeth are-
Yeah,
Yeah,
is that the new 100 chihuahuas
problem with
versus
humans-
a wolf? Wolves
Yeah.
aren't
Humans, gorillas is
also
that we
aren't
don't-
like people imagine wolves as like giant like monsters. They're really
big.
not that
Yeah.
big.
They're huge.
I mean, they're big for dogs.
Well, they're
but
bringing
they're
back
not
a
like
dire
huge.
wolf.
huge.
though.
yeah.
I wish. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in for this mess.
I want to do more like this. This is fun.
This is very
I
fun.
told you
This
guys
is
this
very
would
fun.
be fun. Everyone
Yeah,
thought
let
it
us
was crazy.
Let us know if you want us to do more stupid, ridiculous meme matchups. Did we answer it for you? No, I guess not we. Did the people who voted in chat answer this for you? Is your mind changed? Did you come into this thinking that like you were on the side of the gorilla or the 100 men? And now after all this, has your mind either changed or been set in the one that you thought originally? Or are you just even more confused? Also, I love that a glowing review of today's Death Battle Cast from Mr. Picture 64. Well, that was fun, I guess. All right, everybody.
Also,
Thank you for
whatever.
tuning in.
Gilded gifted out 10 memberships, so 10 of y'all can go check out the post show. Thank you, Gilded, for all the support today. Has been amazing. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, appreciate you all with all the super chats, all the gifted memberships. If you got a gifted membership from somebody, be sure to thank them in the chat. This has been one hell of a show, and we'll see you all next week. Take
Bye.
care.